Hello, and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. On the Bitcoin chart, the market seems to be pulling back a little bit. That could already be wave 2. I mean, bear in mind, we're already on the 1 hour chart. We are following the yellow count, which is the primary scenario. Overall, both wave counts are bullish, but in the white wave count, we are basically already in a deeper wave 2 pullback. That is still overall a bullish scenario. And if we get really cheap prices again, or lower prices, cheap was the bear market. If we really get lower prices again and we are holding support in this green box, which goes down to 27,290, then this is to be seen as a gift in my opinion, because those would be prices, lower prices in a bullish scenario, in a bullish structure. Basically a pullback in an uptrend, which can be very, very attractive. We don't get these deep pullbacks too often. When they occur, then they are typically opportunities, as they have been throughout 2023. So, however, we might not be there yet. And as you know, my leaning has been for another move to the upside before we do the wave 2. So it's basically both the same scenario, but just in one, we see another extension to 40,000, 41,000, maybe up to $43,000. Even though I'm careful, I would never put a maximum really on a move in crypto. Elliott Wave doesn't really predict when something is going to overextend. But what we can do when we're moving, we're just rolling up the support, and then we can track, like with Solana, if we get further extensions or not. That's just where tactics and strategy comes in, right? We can really only look for the ideal structures here. We know that cryptos often overextend, and then we're just managing that with tracking basically the stop or the support for an impulsive move. Now, with Bitcoin, if we get this extension higher, which is currently the expectation, as long as we're holding 35,450 support down there, if we get this move up, then it should form a 5-wave move ideally. We start to get a little bit of structure finally. The situation isn't exactly clear on the micro level, so it could be wave 1 is already done and we are in wave 2. In that case, it needs to hold 35,540. Well, in any case, really, because below that level, I have to assume that we're in the white wave count already. That is starting to break down. That's below 35,450. That's when the white count, the more direct pathway to the downside, gets much more likely. And the yellow count, as it is, will be invalidated below 34,880. If we then look at the micro or nano structure, you could say it's possible that it gets one more tiny high before pulling back in wave 2. Basically, as soon as it moves into the yellow box, I will assume that is wave 2. Okay, so it's somewhere, it's just around. So normally a wave 2, we'd like it to reach at least the 50% retracement at 36,340. However, we have seen wave 2 corrections which have been very shallow, especially when it's bullish. Therefore, I prefer to add the 38.2 fib level. And the thing is, if we're just touching the 38.2 fib level up there at 36,714, it could be that it's just touching it, does another extension in wave 1, then comes down again into support. But it wouldn't matter so much from trading tactics, because the key support level really at the moment that we should focus on is the 78.6 fib level. So the closer we get, the better the reward to risk ratio for any potential trades higher in this wave 5 of 1. So that's what I'm watching for. At the moment, it's still possible we get one, if it shows a green candle, obviously at the moment, but if it carries on from here, breaks above the previous high, I will assume that we get one more high. So basically wave 1, just as an alternative count, 2 on the micro level, 3, 4, 5. So the idea is that we get very clear 5 waves with one more high. And then, however, it would be wave 1 will finish here, right? Then we might have to move the support area a little bit in line with the latest high, because it is really calculated based on that distance. And it has to increase, obviously. I have to lift it up if we go a little higher in wave 5 of 1. But it should be much higher. If it completely escalates from here, then this is already wave 3. Then it would be a very, very shallow wave 2, which would be unlikely, or at least far less likely. So for me, it's all about, we get one more high. in wave 1 and then do the wave 2, or we are already in the wave 2. Yeah? Fairly neutral about it. I prefer just to use these fib levels to watch for reactions. And the key level for me is the 78.6 fib level, because below that level, it is very unreliable that this here is a wave 2. Yeah, I mean, it's not invalidated below the 78.6 fib, but it increases in likelihood that it's going to break down. And then below the beginning of wave 1, that's where we have the invalidation for any further upside. And then we would need to wait basically for the next impulse to the upside. And that at the same time will mean we are most likely in the white count, which could then be a C wave down, which would be impulsive, wave C of A. But overall, yeah, we're still watching this yellow pattern to develop primarily now. It's going to be very interesting, especially with yesterday's move. The market has woken up again. So a lot of people were talking about a crash here already, right? There's still perma bears out there. I'm not saying the bear market couldn't come back, but it's not here right now. Focus on what you can see. There are so many people who are still talking about, oh, this increase this is impossible, can't be, But I've been saying for weeks, we have to grab the bull by the horns as long as it's running. Surely markets can change and then we just adapt, right? That's just what you have to do, instead of talking about new bear market lows for a year and then they just don't happen, right? That's not what we want to do. We want to just simply follow the trend. At some point, the structure will break. And fair enough, that's what they do. And then we just adjust, okay? So also from here, I mean, I'm forecasting in a wave 2 a potential break that could potentially mean a 27% drop, even in this overall scenario, yeah, when the wave 2 started, which at the moment I don't think it has. Yeah, I'm following primarily on yellow, but it should happen afterwards. So 25% roughly move down, that can happen, but it would still be part of an overall bullish scenario. But even there, it doesn't need to come down that low. So it's generally watching these fib levels, right, in any wave 2 pullback. Okay, that's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter. You can find the links in the video description. There's additional content there every single day. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.